Cannot hear.
Okay. Now can you?
Yeah.
I start mumbling. Someone wants to chant?
I can do it. Sadashiv Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhasha Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurubhyo Namah.
Like to chant 18 to 21?
Okay, Dipti ji, I'll try.
Would you like me to first do?
I'm following your chants that you sent, so check if it is correct.
Right, great.
Okay. Antavanta ime dehaha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino prameyasya tasmad yudhyasva bharata ya enau veti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha nayam hanti na hanyate na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvato yam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire veda vinashinam nityam Ya enam ajamavyayam katham sa purushav partha kanghatayati hantikam.
Very good. Just a little more
Thank you.
practice.
Yes, I
Excellent.
think so. Okay,
Beautiful.
thank you so much.
Lot of difference. Wonderful. Thank you. So we are continuing with the portion on Atma Vidya, the actual topic of Vedanta. The purpose of Vedantic study in any person's life is, am I loud enough? In any person's life is that it gives you the opportunity, the availability of examining rationally, logically, the truth as has been revealed by very deep thinkers and contemplators. They have arrived at the truth of one's own nature. They have arrived actually after truth, one doesn't need another word. They have arrived at the truth of existence. As long as one doesn't know the truth as is, so long one projects a truth. One projects whatever one thinks must be right by one's own relative understanding at that point of time in life. One has to give some sort of a shape, idea to one's life, a direction to one's life. So naturally, one tries to define it, one tries to understand, one tries to figure out what is one's life meant for, what am I to do in life, what is right, what is wrong, what is will, what is destiny, what is, why is it that I go through certain experiences, why is it that I wish for something that's probably is never going to be for me, why are people fighting, why are people arguing, why is there not enough harmony, or why is there not enough care even in humankind? Why is there so much struggle to be felt, to be known, to be understood by someone else? Why is there a need or a dependency for validity or for appreciation? Or there are a billion questions. I would say all of us have the same questions. There are a billion questions, but everybody would have the same questions at some point or the other point in their life. As a result of which, there is a certain flow that one finds in life that one has to live. Every day you wake up, there has to be a certain kind of activity you have to be engaged in, your relations, your duties, one's preoccupations. You have all this together. One just gives a most comfortable definition to life that is convenient enough to follow and holds it as long as it is convenient, and you try and pursue and try and gather some happiness in the process and find some reasons for the unhappiness or for the unfulfilled state. Some way you manage to find some quietude, some distraction, some entertainment, some attachment, koi tarika, any method, human being finds some way or the other to try and hold on to some meaning to one's life. What Vedanta does is, it defines that meaning in the sense of what is the truth of one's existence. This being so, the nature that it unfolds to human beings, what have these deep thinkers, it hasn't come about out of any blind faith or relief or mythology. It is pure reflection, deep contemplation, and it is based on the upadhi that one has of thinking, faculty of thinking has been employed to arrive at certain definite conclusion, which is irrefutable because it is provable. It gets proved in one's existence and one's experience, just as gravity, till it is discerned, till it is figured out. We can go round and round in our projected theories about why doesn't anything going up fall down. You can project theories. This is an important point. As long as the truth is not known, there will be projection. There will be something that we will superimpose upon. We will try and figure out is what I'm calling as projection. You will throw an idea, thinking faculty being there, complete knowledge not being there. I don't understand what life is. I don't know from where I have come. I don't know what happens on death. I do not know anything, truly speaking, other than the information that has been given to me by my society, by my people, by my culture. I only seem to have that bundle of knowledge. And on my own, whatever I may try to understand or figure out doesn't seem to have enough data because I am not able to pick up the depth of my being, of the being of life itself. What is called being? What do we call, where do we pinpoint life? Where will we say this is life? Is breathing life? The one who breathes, we say in common parlance, zinda hai, matlab jaan hai. That jaan is called life. What is the meaning to life that we would like to define? Vedantic study is the greatest anugraha. Whether you appreciate it today or not, or ever, doesn't matter. Fact will not change. Fact is Vedantic Shravanam, Vedantic knowledge, and in particular, this Atmagyan is the highest anugraha. Anugraha means it's a fall of grace in English. It is the highest exposure to the best thinking available in human being ever possible, past or future. This is the highest knowledge, highest in the sense, I'm not equating it in the sense of superiority, I'm equating it in the sense of subtlety. Yes, because of which you may call it superior, but superior not in the sense of calling other things inferior. It is the highest. There is nothing higher than this that you can aspire for. There is nothing higher than this that you can know. It's like saying once you know the law of gravity with reference to gravity, the search ends. There is nothing higher you can get to know. Gravity for now is accepted law. One's search can end here. You don't have to search again and again. You can now confirm, abide by that knowledge. You can abide by the knowledge. You can live with the knowledge. What knowledge? I understand gravity. I don't have to remember gravity. I don't have to figure it out myself. I have understood. It has got acceptance now. We can see it functioning. That is enough for me. I don't have to go through the same physical formulas that Newton applied for me to confirm, yes, this is so. I can abide with gravity. Atma Vidya is that knowledge. A knowledge which is confirmed knowledge. There is nothing higher than this. Once you have arrived at the knowledge, the seeking ends. There is nothing more to know now. You can live with that knowledge. You can abide in this knowledge. You can function from that standpoint. You can be available to the world from that standpoint. Which standpoint? From the standpoint of Atma Vidya. That prakaranam, that context, that's what has started here. Arjuna. Therefore, there is celebration, obviously. Vyavharically, please keep it aside for now. This context is Paramarthik context. Therefore, let's fix our vision on the Paramarthik Drishti. The knowledge is being said from Paramarthik Drishti, not from Vyavharik Drishti. Vyavharik Drishti, yes, there will be a birth, we will celebrate. Yes, there will be a death, there will be sorrow. Accept it. Vedanta is not correcting that notion. What is Vedanta saying? The fact that you human beings believe, naturally एक सोच है हम में कि जब जन्म हुआ किसी का तो उस इंसान का जन्म हुआ. That is a child born. A child born is an individuality formed, is an individuality come into existence. It is an individuality come into existence. And when there is death of this individual, the individuality has gone out of existence. It's gone. We don't know now. In other words, what human beings accept as truth is only from a very limited window of what is acknowledged by their sense organs. What can be verified as knowledge from the sense organs? Only within that window, that knowledge is said to be real. That knowledge is said to be valid. That knowledge is said to be knowledge. What knowledge? Only within the window of my sense interactions. Jnanendriya, sense organs. What it gives to me as information, I only consider that as knowledge. So I may not be able to smell a bouquet of roses. I cannot see a bouquet of roses outside. I do not know they exist. Till the whiff comes, or the bread is baking, coffee is being made. I can't see, but the minute their senses have brought in the information, I believe it to be real. Important point. I accept it as real when the senses have given me the information. Kya hai? That hai, I have associated it with knowledge, yes, but it is confined only to what my senses present to me. Shastra Vidya, Atma Vidya breaks that notion. What notion? जो इस छोटी सी window के through, which is that window? Navadvare pure dehi. In some context he says, this 9-gated body, Navadvare, 9 apertures of your body that you have. Through this apertures, whatever is happening, you are concluding it to be life. You conclude it to be right. You conclude it to be real. शक नहीं है, doubt नहीं है, हो भी नहीं सकता. The pace of life is so fast. We have thousands of things to accomplish and to do. There is a momentum from within. Our desires are gurgling. They want expression outside in the world. They want to be fulfilled. And there is expectations from the world which is seeking its attention from us, and they want us to look at them. We need to attend to that. So there is hardly any possibility to examine outside the window of the senses. How do you examine outside the window of the senses? Is it even possible? By oneself, you have to take a real withdrawal from everything. Say, like great people like Ramana did. Inquire. It is available for inquiry. With a little knowledge, you can figure it out. It is meant for everyone to figure out. But to help is this Shastra Vidya. What is it said about Atma? It started from 16th verse. What is Krishna telling Arjuna? He says this information that you're holding about life and existence is faulty. I will say it's faulty. गलत है ये, पूरी नहीं है. It's incomplete. Therefore, it is faulty. It is presumptuous. Most of it is a presumption. You have really not understood. You have really not figured out. You have really not had a hearing. You have not come across the right knowledge about yourself. And therefore, you continue to hold the beliefs that your senses present to you. You continue to hold the beliefs that your senses are bringing to you. Knowledge that your senses are bringing to you. Because somehow you haven't come across what is your nature. What is the truth? As long as you believe your sense data to be the real information about yourself and life and world, so long you cannot be free of grief. You cannot be free of struggle. You cannot be free of sadness. You cannot be free of unhappiness. You cannot be free of depression, anxiety, fear, anything and everything that you want freedom from, that you want resolution of, that you want peace for. You cannot get it if you're going to depend only upon what your senses brings to you. नहीं मिलेगा, क्योंकि ये पूर्ण ज्ञान नहीं है. It's not complete. It's not real. Your senses are telling you there is a snake. Your senses have said it's a snake. Snake perception will give you fear. Nobody's going to laugh and have joy. Oh, there is a snake, especially if it's a poisonous snake. Oh, wow, I saw a snake there, coiled there at the corner of my room. I'm so happy. Today I can't tell you, you're calling your best friend. Listen, I saw a snake in my room. It's right there across. Vyavharically possible hai ye. Will you be happy when you see a snake across, poisonous snake? Will the emotion of happiness come? Yes or no? What is the natural emotion going to come if you see fear? If you see snake. The first emotion that will rise when you see snake has to be fear. It has to be ghabrahat. It has to be anxiousness. It has to be displeasure. It has to be unhappiness. It has to be a desire to run away. It has to be a desire to solve it. Ye hai kya? That will be the second step, of course, but it has to be that. It cannot be anything else. Naturally, it is going to be that. So, as long as you are depending on the indriyon ka gyan, indriyon se jud ke, you are calling the world real, you're calling life real, you're calling relations real, you're calling all this from the standpoint of knowledge, if you are able to understand and peg your intellect to that understanding and view from there, उस नजर से अपने जीवन को देखो, तो भाव बदल जाएगा, इमोशन बदल जाएगा. If you're looking at, this time when you had Ganesh Puja, and over here in the complex we have this, when they take this band baja ke saath, it's fascinating. If you look at it from ground floor, you are seeing entirely different picture. And you look at it from the top, another floor on the top, you get a different view. When I'm at a ground floor level, I am bound to be more involved. Sannidhi hai. What is Sannidhi? I'm in close association with it. My indriyas are more closer to that experience that is generated. That closeness with it is bound to bring me more involvement, more reaction, more response, etc. But if I look at it from another higher standpoint, just by the floor, not understanding here the example, just floor rise, your experience of that coming and going, and it's one perception, and you look at it very differently. Very differently. What is Vedantic knowledge useful also as? If you do manan on it, if you do reflection on it, if you are able to anchor your buddhi, your thoughts, identify them with this knowledge and associate with it, hold yourself at that knowledge point, and then conduct your life. Then live your life. It will be a different experience. A different emotion is generated. Atma Gyan is what? Krishna started by telling him, you're not going to get freedom from these bhav of losing your loved ones, etc., etc. You will not get freedom from this if you're going to look at the situation from your existing standpoint. What is your existing standpoint? I am Arjuna. I am a warrior. I am a student of Drona. I am a grandchild of Bhishma. I am the son of Pritha. I am the son of Pandu. I am the brother of Yudhishthir, Dharmaraj. I cannot make an error in my functioning of dharma because my brother is a Dharmaraj. I have younger brothers. I have a wife. If you're going to look at life situation, that point of situation from that existing knowledge that you have, you cannot escape the emotion that you are experiencing now. Whatever Arjuna was feeling is default emotion if the standpoint of his own understanding of his own being is that. But because his own standpoint confused him, his own emotion brought him confusion at that point, and he lost his way of what he should be doing. He didn't know what he was supposed to do now with his existing standpoint. He didn't know how to conduct his life further. What direction should I give to my life? Should I run away? Should I take sannyas? Is that the right thing for me? So his whole life definition of his life, what he wants to do in life, was now getting muddled up. He didn't know. He was getting confused. His own life direction was getting lost. And so Krishna says, if you want your sense of direction back, if you want to come back on track, you will have to raise your perception of who you are, of what is life, of what is truth. Come to know a fact that you may have not looked into for so long. It's not necessary that we look at facts as facts. Our attention may not go towards them. They are there, but why do we take most of good people in our life for granted? What is a simple answer? When do we start taking good people for granted? Especially good people. We never take bad people for granted. Do we take bad people for granted?
Because you're wary of the bad people.
You're wary of the bad people, exactly. And why do you take good people for granted? Those who are...
Because you know they'll be amenable to everything, they'll be understanding, they'll be acceptable, all those qualities will
It
be
has
there.
gone through your stage of examination in the little while, you've judged it, ab ye अच्छे इंसान है, अब मतलब अभी बस ठीक है, forget it. Now it doesn't need your attention. Because you know they are nice people, you expect them to remain nice. So it becomes for granted. You are able to take them and forget them, that their existence is there. It's kind of falls into behavior in a way that it doesn't matter they are there. Because you can take a fact for granted. A fact can be taken for granted without looking at it closely, without figuring it out, understanding it, without examining it. A fact can be taken for granted. What is that fact? That you are Atma. I am not going to mess up words. I am not going to sugarcoat them now. This is a paramarthik drishti. And the anugrah in our life is that there is a paramarthik drishti to be heard. To be understood is a greater anugrah. But at least hear it for its own sake. What is the paramarthik drishti? You are Atman. Hear it. You are not this Arjuna. Arjuna, you are not Arjuna, the son of so-and-so. Arjuna, you are not Arjuna, the warrior. You are not Arjuna, the name. You are not Arjuna, the etc., etc., etc. Arjuna, you are not this Arjuna. Arjuna, you are Atman. Not only Arjun, you are Atman. I am also Atman. Krishna says, he too is Atman. But not only you and I are Atman. We are not the Mahan people here. All these people in front of you who are ready to engage in war with you, all these people are also Atman. Now in that situation, what is going to happen to any one of us who hears this statement? पहले ही बुरा हाल था, अब क्या होगा? Gone completely. Worse than before. How does this help me to decide what to do? You are Atman, I am Atman, we are all Atman. Therefore, what should I do? Should I fight or should I not fight? What should I do? How should I conduct my life? And then, Krishna now wants to completely, yes, disbelief. He wants to complete this knowledge that what does it mean to be knowing that all this is, you are Atman, I am Atman, we are all Atman. What does it mean? It means that this existence that you are experiencing now as Arjun, 16th verse. This existence that you are experiencing now as Arjun, that is your Indriya Janit Gyan. Small window with which you are looking at yourself. This is not your existence. To say this is not your existence, what is it? Logic has to be given. How am I to believe this is not my existence? He says there is a simple test understanding that whatever is existent can never go out of existence. By the word existence, word existence का मतलब क्या है? होना. That, hey, when I say paperweight is. Hoना. Existence means what? It should be there, no? Question should come, is it to be always there or is it to be temporarily there? It should be there. It is there. Should it always be there or should it be temporarily be there? Existence can be temporary. Existence can be everlasting. Can it be everlasting? We would ask. It is temporary to all of us. So Krishna says, the lakshana of existence should be that it should not be temporary, but it should be permanent, everlasting, always, nityam, changeless. Not only should it be everlasting, the fact that this is temporarily there, it will get its temporary existence factor from that everlasting. This cannot independently exist. अपने आप से ये आ नहीं सकता कहीं से. A pot will not come out of clay on its own. It won't come. That it undergoes. A pot comes into being. Stays into potness and goes out of potness. So too, Arjun, your name, your life, your individuality, your identity, you are a pot. This is pot. This sharir is a pot. How has it come into being? Where did it come from? If I am depending on my indriya to give me the answer, senses, I cannot figure it out because pot cannot know the clay. Pot can only know the clay if it starts to think its own nature. It has to give up its potness. Wave can know that it is not a wave, but it is water. Wave will think I am wave. I am a big wave. I am a small wave. I am a surfy wave. I am a muddy wave. I am a people ride on me. I am a stormy wave. A wave thinks I am different from that wave following me. I am ahead, you are behind. A wave says I am आगे तुमसे, पीछे वाला you're behind, and then sees, oh, there are more waves ahead of me. Oh, there is a sense of competition. Oh, there is a sense of reaching ahead of that person. Oh, I have to run. That wave starts to feel, oh, I have to go forward because that wave forward ahead of me is ahead of me. I must catch up. I must. And then one of the waves says, really, are you and I different? What are you? Wave says, I am water. What are you? I am also water. Eh? If we are both water, are we wave different from each other? As wave, can we be different? From wave standpoint, we see two waves. But from water standpoint, are they different? It's water. That wave is also water. This wave is also water. waterness of the wave. That wave is getting its individuality from. Where is the wave getting its individual form from? Water. Wave is entirely dependent on the water. On water. बिना पानी के वेव हो सकता है? बिना पानी के वेव हो सकता है? Even in your dreams, even in imagination. Is my question clear? बिना पानी के वेव हो सकता है? Even in my imagination.
Never.
सपने में चलो यार, let us do a hypothesis. No, why not? Let us just think. No. What is the problem in thinking? सोचते हैं ना, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Let's think. पानी के बिना वेव. How absurd is it? How impossible is it? How stupid and ridiculous is this? How निष्प्रयोजन is that विचार? कोई फल नहीं है उस सोच का. अपनी एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो, बट इसका कोई प्रयोजन नहीं है. That there is going to be a wave without a water. Think. Let's create a wave without a water. The existence of wave is on water, due to water, because of water. It is only water. Wave तो है ही नहीं. It is water seen like wave. Existence तो entirely water है. वेव तो है ही नहीं. वेव तो सिर्फ दिख रही है. It seems to have a form. It seems to be individual. But wave is not, waveness is not an independent existence apart from water. Arjuna, you are getting all this beautiful glory of yourself as Arjuna that you are enjoying in this lifetime. This Arjuna has no existence apart from you being Atman. And we all blank out here. वेव तक तो समझ में आ गया. वाटर है, सब कुछ समझ में आ गया. पॉट एंड क्ले समझ में आ गया. रोप एंड स्नेक समझ में आ गया. बट मी जीवा, me individual, me the name and form, am Atman, blank, blacked out. I've become blacked out completely now. Because there is no thinking beyond the direction of the senses. I'm not looking at anything else. So he says, this, what you are calling as your existence now, is purely, is actually only Atman. And this Atman, Atma, remains avinashi. That is the lakshana that you pick up to reflect. जब बीच में दो काम के बीच में, दो फोन्स के बीच में, दो इंटरैक्शंस के बीच में, जब थोड़ा सा टाइम जिंदगी में, थोड़ा सा माइंड फ्री होता है between any two engagements in व्यवहारिक sense that you are busy with, when there are some two things that you get a little, think Avinashi. What is Avinashi in this world? इस इंद्रिय जनित जगत में मेरे अविनाशी लक्षण कहाँ बैठेगा? What can be indestructible? Vinash, he said, is that which will get adarshanam. Avinashi means it is never not there. It is indestructible. Nothing can change it. किसमें बैठेगा ये? Avinashi is what? Who can be Avinashi? Name is okay. Avinash. Mr. Avinash, something, something, something. Where will you say is Avinash? Everything about the world, anything within your sense purview, everything that falls within this, is there anything that you can say will have the characteristic of it being indestructible? इस पर विचार करना पड़ता है. आंसर सबको पता है शायद, thanks to Vedantic hearing that we have. But विचार तो करना पड़ता है. दुनिया का ऐसा क्या पदार्थ is a technical term. ऐसा कौन सा पदार्थ है जो आपके ज्ञान का विषय है और अविनाशी है? Everything about the world, anything about the world, nothing will have the characteristic of it being avinashi. He says, avinashi is Atma, and everything dependent on existence for it, everything that gets a dependent existence due to it, is subject to vinash. वो अविनाशी है नहीं. आत्मा अविनाशी है. ये हमारी समझ में नहीं है. ब्लैंक है हमको. ब्लैकआउट हो जाता है. What is that face called? Suddenly, when you don't understand something and there's a particular name for that face that we have, it becomes a blanked out face. Okay, let me keep it at that for now. Suddenly you get, it's like now I don't understand what is this. Atma is Avinashi. I don't understand what is this. Clay is Avinashi. Ha, understood. What has Vinash? Understood. Clay. Clay is Avinashi. Understood. Wave has a Vinash. Understood. Water has no Vinash. Understood. You have a Vinash. Gulp it with the salt. Okay. Pinch of salt. Okay. Because I know there is death, I know there is birth. Okay. But you are a Vinashi. Not understood.
Why do we get that blackout like that, Deepti ji?
That's what I just said. The fact that I don't have Atma Gyan, and Atma Gyan is not just a Vritti Gyan, thought-based information. Atma is Avinashi must be my knowledge. That Atma I am Avinashi has to be my knowledge, and that's not my knowledge today. What is my knowledge? My knowledge is my name is Neetu, I'm staying here, I'm so and so, I was born on such and such a date, exactly like Arjuna. Same biodata everybody has. The only things we feel differently is okay, our age and our gender, but hardly any difference. Sabka same biodata. No difference at all. But I am Atma. Vedanta says that. Krishna says here to Arjuna, this is your ultimate truth, this is your fact. You may not look at it, you may not see it, you may not know it, you may not understand it, but the fact will not change. Until you see it and understand it, you will call yourself Neetu, you will call yourself this age, you will call, and that is subject to everything that Atma is not. Atma is Avinashi, but Neetu is not Avinashi. Atma has no Janma, but Neetu has a Janma. Atma has no Maranam, but Neetu has a Maranam. Atma is ever there, but Neetu ji is not going to be ever there. If you are here now, you are not there, even relatively. Neetu will only be at one place. However much you may want to be everywhere. Say if you have a daughter and a son, and the daughter also needs you and the son also needs you. Yeah, tough choice for a mother. You will have to choose one. You can't be both places. Atma is sarvavyapi. It is nowhere that it is not. This is extremely important, valid, and needs thinking, needs reflection. You need to ground it. You need to tell it. You know how you're chanting, and by practice that chanting improves? By thinking improves. By reflection, it gets better and better. So we have never thought of, because when we grow up like a normal household, nobody teaches us, even if they do, even if you have had interest, and if you say, I want to know, people say, are you mad? What is wrong? Something must be wrong in your life. If you are young and you want to study Vedanta, definitely, क्या बुरा हो रहा है तुम्हारे साथ? ऐसे थोड़ी कोई वेदांता पढ़ता है इस टाइम, इस उम्र में, छोटी उम्र में. And if you're old, then they say, now you don't want to go. But when you're old, they say, now you must attend satsang, go for a Vedanta class, go for Bhagavad Gita class, go do all this, etc. Coming back to the point, I think this is getting clearer and clearer. The point is, Avinashi will only fall where? In your experience. Till you discover it, till you identify it, till you figure it out, you are subject to change, you are subject to destruction, you can never be Avinashi. Yena sarvam idam tatam. Know that by that Avinashi, all this is existence. The notion of existence that I carry, ye hai, wo hai. Isliye, that sense of reality with so many things overwhelm us. If I have children, then I have a duty for my children. I have parent, I have a duty towards my parent. I have work to do. I have money to earn. I have a status to uphold. I have, if my wall is leaking, I have to take care of that. I have, etc., etc., etc. I have all that to do. That idea that this is sarvavyapi means what? It means without my existence as Atma, me being there, can you prove the existence of your children? Your wall leaking? Same degree. What is this existence which is giving existence to your entire world, which you're calling as Satyam, real? Everywhere is an Atma is a different Drishtanta. It's a different way of looking at it. Listen to this and consolidate this. If you say the world is real, people are real, my relations are real, we all, vyavharically, again I'm repeating because we will slip quickly from Paramarthik to Vyavaharik Drishti. In Vyavhar, nobody is saying all this is not, they are all relatively real. Karo. But then please don't complain. Then please don't think you'll get happiness here. Then please don't think that you can be freed of bondage here, responsibilities here. Don't think like this. Then that's a wrong thinking also. Because you're wanting the freedom of Atma, but where? In Vyavharik Drishti. You're asking for a square plug and a round hole. If it's Vyavharik Drishti, it has its niyamas. Those niyamas are the only ones that can give you relative shanti. Follow the niyam of Vyavhar, you will have relative shanti. But there is no absolute certainty of anything here. But Atma, I'm repeating myself, that there is existence of everything here around me. How do we say Atma is Sarva Vyapi? How will you resolve that thought in contemplation? Atma Sarva Vyapi, it can be so scary, no? If I mix up my thinking, इसमें भी आत्मा है, मेरे पेपर वेट में आत्मा है, दैट इज एन उपासना विषय. हर चीज में, हर कण कण में भगवान है. दैट कण कण में भगवान है. That means I am not in the prakarnam of vichar. I am in the prakarnam of upasana, karma. This is Atma Vidya. Free of, he says, karma. Atma is not subject to someone's karma. Atma is not a karta, cannot become a karta. It is avinashi. It is sarvam idam tatam. All this that you experience as real existent is because you are Atma and Atma is existent. This needs a lot of reflection, thinking. Why is all this real around me? Let's face it. If I didn't think all of you are real, would I be talking to you? This is real. But the point is, why am I feeling that you are real? Where am I getting the sense of you being real from? When I see it from, say, Arjun, seeing it from Arjun's standpoint, then Bhishma Pitama is real, has got his own reality, has got his own existence. But if Arjun is saying, I am the grandson of Bhishma Pitama, grandchild of Bhishma Pitama, am I saying the right thing?
Yes.
My relations are terrible. Sense of relations is terrible. So, you got the point. Even if I'm mixed up, please, sorry, excuse me. What is it that one is getting that sense of real, that you are there from? If Arjun is not there, can he say, I will suffer the loss of Bhishma, who's real, and the loss is going to be real, and his death will be real for me?
He can't.
He can't, no? That means existence sarva vyapi. My experience of existence, do not mix the levels of objects and then this individual beings, then you're again at the point of individual. Without Atma, even I don't have existence. My name and form also can't be there. I cannot have a birth, so-called, without Atma. That I know all I am, and I am this, and I am that, and I like this, and I like that, and I am these qualities. This is all because Atma is supporting it. It's like the pot saying, I am this weight, and I am this color, and I have this design, and that pot has another color, and it has another design, another shape. It's all because clay is supporting it. Avinashi sarvam idam tatam vyaktam. This cannot be destroyed. Atma cannot be destroyed by anything, anyone. Contrary to Atma, what you call yourself as मैं हूँ, within the purview of my senses, this has to have anta, antavanta ime deha. They have to have an end. Sharir cannot be eternal. Everyone knows. Sharir has to end at a point in time. Shariri at that time, uska kya? And Shariri here is Atma. What about Atma? When this body dies and has an end, what will happen to Atma? Nityaha, Uktaha, those who have contemplated and figured out, Newtons of our own existence. All those rishis have understood what the Vedas have proclaimed. What? Atma will not die. This Atma, trying to understand it from the point of your sense purview, impossible. Aprameya. It is never an object of your thought, an object of your experience. If it is an object of your experience, what should be your attitude? Especially for those who have revised and studied well the previous verses. If it is an object of your thought, what will be your attitude towards it?
It would become very easy to incorporate this in your experience if it was an object of our thought.
Right, that is independently correct. But in the context of the verses we have done so far, my question I'll repeat, maybe it's not very clear. If Atma was an object of my thought, it should first become an object of my senses. If it is an object of my senses, if it is an object of my senses, what experience will it generate?
Bound to change.
Bound to
It's
change.
bound to change.
Right? What experience will it generate?
Avinashi. It would also be because everything that we see through our senses that we experience through our senses is Avinashi. So then
Everything we experience through senses is Vinashi, not Avinashi.
Yeah, Vinashi. I meant Vinashi. Hanji, correct.
Okay, fine. Therefore, what that experience would be finite, correct? Agama apainaha anityaha. Okay, therefore, what will you do? Therefore, what will be your approach to that? What can you best do? What has Krishna already told Arjuna and all of us? If I'm going to repeat this because you know the answer.
Titisha.
Excellent. Who was that?
Me.
Divya, it was Divya.
Excellent. 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 Yes, Shruti. 2 people got this. 3 people got this. Okay, very good. Look at the thought. If Atma was going to be an object of your thought, it would be a sense experience. It would come and go. Oh Arjun, the maximum you could have done is have titiksha. It is a temporary existence. If Atma was prameya, all prameya only have sukha, dukkha, shita, ushna, sukha, dukkha. Shita, ushna, matra sparshaha tu kaunteya, shita, ushna, sukha, dukkadaha, agama apainaha, anityaha, tan titikshasva bharata. If it was prameya, there is nothing you could have done except have titiksha. Then how is it going to be different from what you already are? Where is the freedom then? Have I made the connection clearer? If it was Atma was going to be an object of thought, it would have been like any other experience that you have through your senses. It would also be temporary, and all you could have done is bear it, have titiksha. But then, where is the freedom? What do I do with my desire for freedom? Am I making sense? What will I do with the human need for freedom? I want fulfillment. I want freedom. Am I happy with this agama apainaha behavior of the world? Am I satisfied with it?
No.
Am I content? Am I peaceful? पहले तो कुछ आता नहीं है. अगर आता है तो रुकता नहीं है. अगर रुकता है तो फिर चला ही जाता है. ठहरता नहीं है enough. फिर चला जाता है तो फिर again. Am I happy with this agama apainaha nature of senses and what experience it brings to me? If Atma was also going to be an object of my knowledge, then that is the only experience possible out of Atma also. That means, what about my need for unlimited, endless peace and shanti?
Then
I
that would
need
not have been
shanti.
possible.
Sorry, then?
Then that would not have been possible.
Exactly. Not have been possible at all. Therefore, our search would have meant no end at all. There is no respite. Like in another upadhi, any other upadhi other than human being itself, you find 99.9% don't have a respite. We are looking for it. Where is the respite? Where will the search end? Where will the seeking end? Will it ever end? Oh Arjuna, know yourself. Know yourself means know yourself as Atma. Once you know that, everything will fall into place. The world will continue. Your duties you'll perform them very well. Relations you will nibhao very, very well. Very, very well. Because nobody will be upset with you. You won't have the capacity to make others uncomfortable. They will still get uncomfortable. That is besides your point. Dukhi, because they are still jivatva drishti, so they will still have their sansar to deal with. But you are freed of it. Therefore, antavanta ime dehaha, great. Nityaha uktaha shariri, anashinaha aprameya. Know this Atma to be anashi and aprameya. And that existence is the truth. And to know that truth about yourself, there will be a map, a roadmap. There will be something that you will have to abide. Therefore, it's like saying if there is a lake full of moss, and below that lake, it's one of those superstition wala lake where you throw money in the lake and then, you think wish fulfilling lake. It's a wish fulfilling lake. You throw coins and then wish gets fulfilled. Now, and on that there is a moss layer filled up. To pick up the coin from there, what will you have to do? Clear the moss. So what is Jiva Drishti mein, what has happened to our Antakaran? Mossy, therefore it is messy. It is mossy, so therefore it is messy. Our Antakaran is all mixed up. Khichdi paka hua hai. Jivatvam has tied us completely. Jivatvam, we have lived a life completely within this realm of identity. And that identity is actually a false identity, but you are believing it to be real. So how do you expect moss not to collect? It's stagnation. There is inner stagnation. There is mental stagnation. Therefore, parat jam gaya hai. So what do? He says, "Oh Arjuna, to clear this, to know yourself as Atma, you will have to remove the parat. Because Atma Vidya to tabhi janoge na jab ye parat hategi." To remove the parat, what should you do? In one word. Whatever your blinkered vision of yourself, wherever you are placed, according to you, live a life which is your sense of duty to be done. Abide your life in what is your sense of duty. Abide in it. Arjuna felt his duty was to, as a warrior, if I think I'm a Kshatriya, my duty is to fight. If I think if I am a teacher, what is my duty?
Teach.
Is my duty to fight?
No.
Let's start a war. Because I don't like what's happening. If you think you are a mother, what is your duty? Is it difficult to discern? If you think that you are a working person, employee, what is your duty? Itna aasan hai. People get stuck on this only. What is my duty? What is my duty? 20 years. What is my duty? What is my duty? What is my duty? Why do you want anybody to tell you what is your duty? Why just figure out your duty? Whatever you understand as your duty, just do that. There are no absolute duties. Because your name, your form, your identity, your role is unique to you. You will know what is your duty. If you don't understand what is your duty, then whatever you understand as your duty, do it. ये कोई मुश्किल है follow करना? Is that sentence clear? Don't take the excuse of knowledge, or don't take the excuse of, because I don't understand, therefore till I understand I will not follow. I will follow whatever the world tells me to do. Don't take that excuse, because tasmad yudhyasva bharata, that you are anashi. Here only you will get full respite. But if you do not know, you have to pave your way to know it. This Atma will never change. It is always with you. ये ना आएगी ना जाएगी, ना बढ़ेगी या घटेगी. You don't have to have fear that it will get lost if you don't get it in this lifetime. Don't worry. You have many coming ahead lifetimes. कभी तो समझ में आ ही जाएगी if you keep working at it. Because Atma तो जा ही नहीं रही. If any time you get an existence as anything in the world, it will be because you are Atma. This is a changeless fact. You are, in English, if you say it, people understand it better, but it has a limited understanding. So take it only as a helpful aid, but not as a conclusive understanding. Your consciousness, your awareness, does it go anywhere? Every time you will say, I am born as this and this, you will be conscious, you will be aware. So he says, Tasmat Yudhyasva Bharata. If he was waiting for an authority to figure out, he was not waiting for an, he was confused, so he sought the authority to tell him that maybe it's the same thing. So he says, Anashinaha. So therefore, O Arjun, see the two distinct standpoints. From the standpoint of Vyavhar, do not bring in Atma is indestructible. Do not bring in that point. From the standpoint of Vyavhar, you have duties. If you look at yourself in a blinkered way, then whatever you think are your duties, live a life on them. Why we say, and I say it vehemently, a Vedic culture is the only culture where you can evolve yourself fully. I cannot comment on other cultures because I obviously do not know much about them. I would be wrong to comment on them. But I would be wrong if I do not comment on the glory of the Vedic culture. This Vedic culture gives a full life opportunity of self-growth, self-evolution, self-demossing yourself, cleaning your antakaran. So demoss yourself. How? Live a life only on. In the third chapter, he's going to elaborate this one line that he said here. Karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha yogi bhava. The one who's only doing what is to karyam karma karoti yaha. जो कर रहा है, जो सिर्फ करने वाली चीज है. What I should be doing is what I do. Other than that, everything can be filtered. What ought I to do cannot be filtered away. I cannot have a ichha of wishing my duties or my obligations away. I have to work for them, for nature to give me a prasad where I'm freed of those duties and obligations. And nature gives it to you at the time when your antakaran is mature enough for it. Till then, these duties, this life that I have created with my visioned glass, Shastra says here through this verse, remove all delusions, remove all confusions, do what you're supposed to do. Then, at that time, in that situation, in that circumstances, you will have a role to play. Whatever your role demands, fulfill that role. How that? He'll talk further. Then he says, now, knowing that one is Atma, and Atma is Adhikari, therefore, all explanations I've done in the past classes, so I'm just covering it up in short now. Therefore, this sense of मैं कर रहा हूँ, मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है, मैं और कितना करूँ, और उसने ऐसा किया इसलिए मेरे साथ ऐसा हो रहा है. They are very aggressive people, they are very wild people. They victimize me. They are the ones who are harming me. They are very bad. I'm so good. I've never heard a person ever say that I am bad, that one's good. Relative. We are all of us in our own eyes the best people in the world. हमारी नजर से हमको अगर कोई देखे ना तो भगवान के बाद हमारा नंबर आता है. हम तो इतने अच्छे हैं, हमारी कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है. हम तो हमेशा ही सबका अच्छा सोचते हैं, हम तो हमेशा ही सबके लिए भला करते हैं, हम तो कर रहे हैं जो हमें करना है. You know, that they are the ones who are planned. I find that the most beautiful reflection once in a while, relaxing reflection. What is that relaxing reflection? To shift your nazar from this to that. Same thought उसके अंदर भी चल रहा है. What is the praman? Who's right and who's wrong? Who's good and who's bad? If all of us think we are good, and none of us can conclude that I am bad with reference to that, who's the praman? Who's good and who's bad? Absolutely useless conversation and a useless topic to dwell on. Waste of mind, energy, mental energy. Dissipation, faltuka. Because it's not, what are you supposed to do? Can someone else do it in your place? There will be a role you have to fulfill. Fulfill that role and that time and space, and you've done your best. Through Karam Yoga, you'll get the right attitudes. That's another topic. Here we are still in Atma Vidya. So he says, once someone knows himself as Atma, I am doing, I should be doing, should I do this, will they have these doubts? Once you know Atma, I am Atma, Atma is avikriya. You know, to us this question is also blank, difficult, because I don't know what is Atma, so how can I answer this question also? Therefore, we have to take the verse as is. Therefore, such a person will not have these doubts like you have, Arjuna. That's the connection. You are suffering today. If you are suffering, it is a clear indication आत्म ज्ञान नहीं है. जिसके पास आत्म ज्ञान नहीं है, अभी नहीं है. क्यों नहीं है? तुमने कभी सोचा नहीं है. That's all. Never took the opportunity of becoming free mentally and seeking a guru and then saying, teach me Brahma Vidya. That priority never happened. But good or bad doesn't matter. But it's not happened. So today you are disturbed. That's acceptable. Nobody is condemning that. But look at it from the standpoint of such a knower. Will such a knower be in your condition the way you are? नहीं हो सकता है. That is a clear sign that you are ajnani at the moment. Therefore, abide in doing what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, you will slip further in your gati. You will slip further into samsara if you skip doing what you're supposed to do. Therefore, such a person cannot have these thoughts, I am killing, I am being affected by another person, uski baaton ne mujhe, ye, blah, 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 blah. So, these things won't come to him. Therefore, this Atma is avinashi. Knower of him, Bhashyakara explained to us, is also avinashi. Such a knower is no longer Arjun. If Arjun knows Atma Vidya, then Arjunness and all the feelings of Arjunness, will they still be there as Arjun? I'll repeat myself. Good, Akanksha is understood. If Arjun knows himself as Atma, then what Arjun is feeling now as Arjun, will they still coexist? They can't coexist at all. Therefore, Atma avikari, avinashi is to be known. How does Atma remain avinashi and avikari? How is it that nothing that is there in the world is going to be? Atma will remain adhikari with all this that is happening.
Because Atma is not a karta.
Atma is akarta. Correct. So he says, Veda avinashi nam nityam. Yaha enam ajam avyayam. Know this Atma to be avinashi, nityam, ajam, avyayam. These 4 words. The 21st verse is a conclusion of the verse that he started from 19th verse. Pratigya 19th. Again 20th was the hetu. Again 21st is the conclusion. What is the conclusion? These are the 4 words. Whenever you have time, whenever you're relaxed in your mind, take an opportunity to yourself and reflect on these words. How will you start reflection? Just start. Thinking se thinking better hoti hai. If you start reflecting, your reflection gets better. So, there is no ideal place you will reach and then you start thinking. So, these 4 words are to be reflected. What will fit in these 4 words? What in my experience is there that these 4 words can fit? I have to arrive at that. Then such a person, how does he kill or how does he make someone else, cause someone else to kill, etc. 22nd verse, now he is giving an example. How Atma remains avinashi. Even when the sharir is going through vinash. Sharir cannot be avinashi. Atma cannot be vinashi. आत्मा का विनाश नहीं हो सकता, शरीर अविनाशी नहीं हो सकती. तो जब शरीर का विनाश हो रहा है तो वो उसका संबंध आत्मा के साथ कैसा होगा? आत्मा पे भी कोई असर पड़ेगा? What will happen to Atma then? To say that, he gives this beautiful famous example that all of us know of. Have heard it many times. Vasam si jeevnani yatha vihaya navani ghrannati narah aparani tatha sharirani vihaya jeevnani anyani sanyati navani dehi. Yes. Vasamsi jeevnani yatha vihaya. We'll take this verse in detail. Just a line because we all know this famous verse of the Gita. Just as when our clothes are torn or old or worn out, weathered away, the normal interpretation is how when we discard those clothes and take on new clothes. That is a normal understanding you will hear everywhere. But there is a very subtle actual difference. The difference is because the topic is Atma Vidya. So the difference is in the understanding of the verse, the deeper understanding and purer understanding is just as when the sharir is taking on new clothes and you are throwing away the worn out clothes, is the sharir affected by the cloth, new cloth, or the discarding of the old cloth? कोई संबंध नहीं. Exactly the same. The
Very
point
temporary
is
relationship.
संबंध नहीं है. There is no direct cause-effect relation between them. Just as when you remove the old worn-out clothes and put on new clothes, the sharir has no impact with it. You wore these traditional and then you wore a designer stuff. शरीर को क्या पता चलता है? शरीर को क्या फर्क पड़ता है कि आपने कितना डिजाइनर स्टफ ऊपर से नीचे पहना हुआ है? शरीर को क्या पता चलता है कि और even when the cloth is torn, शरीर को क्या फर्क पड़ता है? शरीर को क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Does sharir even register how much money you spent on that? How much effort you put in to glorify the sharir, and the sharir ko hi farak nahi padta hai. To beautify the sharir, you put on all this, 1 inch idhar, 1/2 inch idhar, 1 millimeter here, please tighten it here, do this here, blah, blah. And what a presentable thing. Sharir ko to pata hi nahi chala. It's hilarious. Actually, when you look at it from a Vedantic perspective, when you stand there, the superficiality of existence and that people live with is hilarious. शरीर को फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है. किसको फर्क पड़ता है कि अरे आपका ये थोड़ा लंबा है, थोड़ा छोटा है, थोड़ा ऐसा है, थोड़ा फैशन में नहीं है, लेट्स समथिंग हैज टू कम इनटू फैशन. किसको फर्क पड़ता है ये?
अज्ञानी को,
अज्ञानी, देहवान को, the one who values deha as real. देहवान को फर्क पड़ता है. Exactly identical, same, extrapolated into जब ये शरीर worn out हो जाता है, शरीर जीर्ण हो जाता है, शरीर कड़ विकार हो के, it's a process of change. Faculties decline होती है, विकार आ रहा है. जब शरीर जीर्ण हो गया, तब शरीर को निकाल के, इस शरीर को निकल के नया शरीर जो एक्सेप्ट होता है, आत्मा को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. As effortless, as unaffected, as changeless, Atma remains. In its presence, you get a new body. In its presence, unaffected, you will discard this body. In its presence, the body will be given up, and in its presence, new body will be got. Because the presence will remain with the new body, if you have still not understood you are Atma, with that new body, you will be given a new name. It will have a new gender. It will have a new situation. It will have new relations. It will have but will you stop seeking happiness in that new body? Will you stop getting affected in the new body? Will you not be again Arjuna in the new body? Therefore, the glory of Vedanta, unparalleled knowledge in this creation. ऐसा कभी कुछ होगा नहीं, कभी. It's irreplaceable. Atma Vidya is irreplaceable Gyan. And any effort to understand even if little has far-reaching consequences of anugraha on oneself as a jiva, as an individual itself. So we will end here. Neetuji, can you please conclude?
Yes. सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. गुरुभ्यो नमः.
Question?
Thank you, Deepti ji. Hari Om.
Thank you so much, Dipti ji.
One question, Deepti ji. So you said as long as you are a jnani, you just do what you are meant to do. So basically follow your dharma. So at the end of Gita Sar, Arjun is still not a jnani, and that's why he will go ahead and fight the war.
Yeah. The delusion is temporarily lifted, enough for him to get the clarity of what he should do.
Right.
At this point, he's paralyzed mentally. He doesn't understand. So the paralysis will go away, but he's still not a jnani.
And if he was, then there was no need for him to fight.
You can't say there was no need for him to fight, but he would have fought without this confusion.
Priyanka,
With this
can you unmute? Can you mute? Because Deepti's voice is
echoing.
No, I think that's Sheena's also. That's her also. It's not us.
Sheena ji, can you mute your mic? So, if Arjuna had Atma Vidya, then third chapter will clarify to us all these questions pertaining to this will be answered completely in third chapter, entirely. That why would he then have acted? He may still have had to act, but why would he have acted? I'm not shortcutting the answers. It's best to arrive the understanding at that point gradually, evolve the understanding to that point so that the context builds itself. So thank you everyone.
एक पॉइंट पूछना था, अजम का मीनिंग क्या है एग्जैक्टली? अजम
जन्म रहित.
ओके, जन्म रहित.
Janam, janam. So birthless, without birth.
Deepti was Yudhishthir aware of Atma Vidya
No,
being a Dharmraj?
not till the end. Not at this point. Not at the point of Mahabharata. But because of Mahabharata, there was so much vairagyam that came in them. In all the five brothers. There's so much vairagyam because the destruction that they saw, they were, even though so much preparation has gone mentally to be ready for the consequences of the war, it is a difficult thing to digest. So a lot of vairagyam goes. So at the end, it seems Yudhishthir was far better in his knowledge, but nowhere is it written that there was Atma Vidya. Atma Vidya only Krishna has. He's a Jnani. In the entire context of Mahabharata, only Krishna is a Jnani. Everyone else is a Jnani. Yes. Fine then. All right. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aditi, it was okay? You understand?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepti ji.